3. Hey guys, how are you? Okay, so a little bit of a change of venue today. This is my new place, so I'll do back and forth between San Diego and Los Angeles, but in the meantime, this is my new home in San Diego. We're in Cardiff actually, and as you can tell, the view has changed a little bit from the gym. It's a little bit better, right? Okay, so last week I tried to upload a video, the third video blog, and for whatever reason it didn't work, so I'm gonna put it on Monday. But then I'm gonna use that to make an announcement. So we're gonna make the website a lot better. And so we are thinking about doing like 3 types of membership. So the normal one, no matter what, I'm gonna do a video blog every week, beginning of the week, and midweek I'm gonna release a challenge. Like this week is gonna be the 200-meter abro challenge that I did last week, which got me sore for about 5 days. I don't know about you guys, but everybody got sore on my side. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go on the Facebook page, on my YouTube page. I put the channel. So that will be the challenge for this week. And then everybody try and post your times, and then we'll see who wins. Okay. And so on the website, we're going to do also a membership website. It's just so we can have a structure going, so we can put more videos and stuff like that. We'll charge like, I don't know, like $4.99 a month, or like, you know, like $60 a year or something like that, just so we can get all the videos in one place with all my accessory work, technical work, you know, how to pull a rope and everything. I will put the openers out there for everybody, because I think everybody should have them. But when we go into more specific things, like pulling the rope overhead, yoke carry and everything, I'll have that as a membership, like, you know, 50, 60 bucks a year, something like that. And then there'll be a second tier membership where, because a lot of people have been asking me for online programming, so I will put a 2-day-a-week template that is basically my training anyway. This is my base training for all athletes, whether they're powerlifters or CrossFitters and everything. CrossFitters would find it interesting because there's a lot of lat work, things like that, to correct the shoulder imbalances and everything. And with this, I would get my coaches also to jump in, show video of the workout when they do it, tips, weights we use, scores on the 2 day per week, all that stuff basically. So that should be come around like May 1st, because we're going to need about 4 weeks to get the structure going. But the idea will have so a $4.99 for technical work, and then I will do like an extra video blog that the $4.99 membership would cover. And then the online programming, that 2-day template would be probably something like $29.99, like 30 bucks a month, right? With more detailed explanation of what I do, a Q&A for everybody. And then mostly it'll be about that programming, that template, and explanation into the workout, the weights, the scores, all that stuff like that. And I'll get my coach to jump in on this also. Guys, if you have ideas, or if you certain things you want to see more than others and everything, put it in the comments, because we're just starting, and so we're trying to figure out where we're gonna go from there. The idea here is just to, if I can make a little bit of money with this, I can put it back in the website, and we can make a better structure where everybody can meet, and then we can start the movement specialist thing, right? And so that's the idea. And then coming right now is the video that I tried to upload last week. This is all about how I choose accessory work for my athletes. Okay, see you guys soon. So it's mostly going to be about the principles at first, and as I go forward, I'll be able to take just one topic at a time and explain more clearly how I go about it. And then I'll use videos of my athletes and my coaches, either demonstrating the videos or going themselves through the movements in order to show what I'm looking for, the problems that I see. So my thought process when I look at a movement, okay? And so at first I'm going to start about the concept of the assistance work. So obviously I'm a big fan of assistance work. And but why do I choose the exercises that I choose? Because I have very, very specific exercise for specific things. And I want to explain to you guys how I go about it. So again, this is not so much what to do but it's more about how, you know, to do it and everything. My goal here is to educate all of you guys so we can create a field of movement specialists. Because right now, I think it's sorely needed. There's a big gap between physiotherapy and functional fitness, and where people get not necessarily structural damage, when they have all those small injuries that start to pile up because of imbalances. And there's really a gap on how to treat those. There's really nobody filling that gap. That's really what I want, is to create a field for this. So I want to create a structure with smart people, smarter people can join in and get this ball moving. So that's why I try to educate out there as much as I can, because I want as many people in this as possible, so we need to create a field for movement specialists. That's the bottom line. So that's really my mission, right? So assistance work. Why do I choose the exercises that I choose? So first of all, people come to see me, they have problems, right? That's the point of the movement specialist, is people will come see you because they're hurt, about to get hurt, or get stuck in their progress. So that's 99% of people coming here. I don't deal with weight loss. I don't deal with all of this. I have a team for powerlifting and strongman because those are my hobbies and I love those. So I enjoy training people in those two sports. But my career really is a movement specialist. I fix people. It fits my nature better. And so they come to me with problems. So I don't do assistance work for the sheer sake of assistance work. Like, I don't necessarily make everybody do the openers, like that I'm going to talk about later. Not everybody has to do the bicep opener necessarily. Not everybody has to do the shoulder openers necessarily. If you come to me again with a problem and I make you do the biceps opener and your form is fine, you have great range of motion, everything is going well, there's really not a need to put you in it too often. I might use it as a warm-up for the next exercises, but this is not something I'm going to focus on tremendously. I only deal with problems. So how do I choose the exercises that I want? So I use the pyramid system a lot. So you guys remember the first one? It was the S pyramid, right? Structure, stabilization, specialization, right? So the S pyramid. So if you come to me with a problem, the first thing I'm going to look is the problem toward the structure. It starts there, right? If the problem is there, I won't go to toward stabilization. I will first fix the structure. Otherwise, you'll break. So the point of the pyramid like this is always the order. So the base of the pyramid is structure. The base has to be strong. Remember what I always say, the wider the base, the higher the pyramid, right? So first things first, always take care of the base. Someone comes with a problem, the first thing, like, let's say problem with a squat, right? Pressing doesn't really matter, like they stuck on the squat. So I'm going to look at the structure for the squat. In that case, it would be, can you hold the weight on your back? You know, are your obliques strong enough? And then I'm going to go down like that. So first, structure, right? Okay, if the structure is fine, so you can handle the weight correctly on your shoulders, things like that, then we're going to go towards stabilization. Now we're talking like coming out of the hole, there's a problem there. There's some shift forward, backward, sideways. Then I can go toward treating that problem. And if none of those two are the issue, then we can go towards stabilization and see exactly what the problem is there. But first, I always follow the S pyramid. So that's the first step in shooting exercises, is where are you on the S pyramid, right? Where is the issue? Where are you on that one? Then after, I go toward what I call the C pyramid. So the C pyramid is, the base is C for contraction, right? So base is eccentric contraction, isometric contraction, concentric, okay? So first of all, you can notice there's a correlation between those two, stabilization, isolation, structural, eccentric, and everything. Now, I'm about that. I don't want to go too much into this. I can go through the seminar because I have a certain number of pyramids that I use. It's an intricate system, and they all link together. So you'll start to see a relationship between structure and eccentric. Then we start to go into things like that. So that's a little bit complicated. I'll go about that later on. Okay, so why the C pyramid? In one of the blogs, I talk about the function of muscle groups, right? We have to follow evolution here. It took us over 300,000 years to have our present form. And through that time, nature moves very slowly, right? Certain muscle groups were designed with certain function in mind, right? Like, for example, if you look at the hammy is to help with hinging, right? A lot of time, yes, you can flex the leg and everything, but its main purpose is for hinging. And so that means the hammy will mostly work toward eccentric and isometric. So, you know, catching the foot and then stabilization. So each muscle group have certain function. And so what I want is I'm going to want to work the muscle group according to that function, right? So is it more toward concentric or is it more toward isometric and eccentric? Obviously, it's not 100% one thing and 0 the other. It's always a mix of things. But usually muscle groups have, like for example, the low trap, it's mostly isometric. It's mostly to control, to stabilize overhead, right? So muscle group have a definite function that usually means a certain level, a certain type of contraction. It's designed for a certain type of contraction more than others. Again, not like 100%, 0%, but more toward a certain type. So that will be the second pyramid I'll use is I found the problem, right? Whether it's structural or whatever, let's say it's the hammy. Okay, so now I know the hammy is more designed toward isometric and eccentric. So that means the exercise that I have to choose has to go toward that part of the C pyramid. Okay, so first I need to figure out where you are, where the problem is on the S pyramid, and then where the problem is on the C pyramid. Okay, so already between those two, I'll have an indication of what is it that I want to do. Okay, so what am I gonna try to achieve? Already I have an idea, and so now I have to deal with the athlete himself. So that's the third part to choose the exercises is any exercise that I choose has to obey 3 rules, right? He has to show the problem, okay? So for example, let's take the bicep, right? Because everybody's asking me about the bicep opener. I'm going to put the videos out there. I know the problem is the bicep. Well, I want an exercise that shows the problem. If I do normal bicep curl, the problem it's a fairly normal movement. Most people can do that correctly, so it will not show me the problem. But the second I put them in the opener, which was the point of the exercise, and then I go into that back lever position and I start to stretch, I see right away that the person, instead of bringing the elbow here in order to open the bicep, can only bring the elbow here. So I know the bicep tendon is short and can now allow me to come all the way here without defaulting. But it comes only this far. So this is showing me the problem, right away. So this is better than a bicep curl down here. That will not necessarily show where the issue is. Right away, it shows me the problem that I'm looking for. Second, it's an exercise that has to fix the problem at the same time. So it's not enough to show, you also has to fix. Again, this is why I created the bicep opener, because as I get better at the exercise, I'll be able to bring my elbow further back until basically at 90 degrees, being able to give the length that is required for the biceps tendon in order to have good, healthy shoulders and functional movement. And then the third rule is the feedback. That's a very important one. I need the exercise to give the feedback to the athletes directly. Again, so by now you know that I don't like to tell people what to do. I like for them to figure out the how and the why. And if they have an immediate feedback from an exercise, they know right away, like, oh, I need them to, when they do the exercise, to realize there's a problem, right? If they do, that's why I like also, for example, the overhead you carry so much, because people right away go, I could not stabilize overhead. Okay, that's what I want. I need them to go like, this isn't working. How come I cannot do this movement? There's a problem there. If they go into an exercise and the movement, they go like, yeah, it was hard, but I could do it, then they will never understand the why and the how to do the exercise properly. On the bicep opener, right away they'll feel, like I'll show them how far I can go, and then they'll feel their range of motion is short and that they have a really hard time extending the arm fully. That will show them right away that the biceps tendon is short. So they will have immediate feedback, not from me, but from their body directly. And that's a very important thing for the exercise, is the feedback has to come from the exercise directly to the athletes so they feel exactly what's happening. I do not like when the feedback comes from me. It has to come from the exercise itself. So the exercise has to show the problem, fix the problem, and give feedback to the athletes. So if you look at the exercise that I use, they all fall into that category. And so that's why I created the openers, for example, for the biceps. Let's take the bicep opener, right? So bicep, you have a problem with the shoulder. I figure out the problem is the bicep. So the goal of the bicep really, of course, it can flex and the concentric is all right, but that's not really the point of the bicep in the human body. If I'm going to pull something, let's say nature fighting, or like, for example, on flipping a tire, I don't want to flip the tire using my bicep. I don't want to pull in nature using the bicep. It's a small muscle, right? It gets tired fast. If you climb a rope, you don't want to be all bicep. It's not the point of the, it's a small fall, it fatigues fast. That's not what you want. What you want is you want to use the lat. That's what is being used on a pulling movement is the lat, not the bicep. So I know by design, the role of the bicep is more holding, so stabilization and eccentric. If you think wrestling and everything, it's mostly isometric contraction, eccentric, then concentric. So that means I need to work the isometric and the eccentric contraction more than the concentric. Pure biceps curl like this, I'm not interested in making the bicep that much stronger. What I want basically is proper function, which is isometric and eccentric. So I want to lengthen the biceps tendon through the eccentric contraction, stabilize, that's the isometric, and then after the last part, which is curling, not exactly an afterthought, but it doesn't matter to me nearly as much. And so that's why I came up with the bicep opener, because I make people lay down on the bench. I will fully open their bicep tendon, make them stretch their arm back, stabilize the weight, and then coming back. So the curl is actually the easy part. The problem is lowering the weight back and stabilizing at the bottom. So this is why I created the bicep opener. It was because of the function of the bicep. He had to fit the function of the bicep. And also, when the athletes do it, they will feel right away if their range of motion is short or not without me telling them. And they will feel how hard it is for them to stretch their arm. Again, give them immediate feedback. Not me telling them, they will feel right away. And whenever they have a short range of motion, it shows me right away where the problem is. So that's how I created the openers, is following those 3 rules. Show the problem, fix the problem, give feedback to the athlete. So those 3 things are how I choose exercises for my athletes. It follows the 2 pyramids and the 3 rules every single time. This is how I choose every single time. Okay, so in further videos, I'm going to show the openers for the bicep, the chest, the shoulder. I believe there's already a video of the tricep openers out there. And then I will start to do videos that are more specific per thing. But for now, the first few videos, I'll talk a lot about the principles behind Strongfit and what is my mission with all this. What am I trying to accomplish with, creating the field of movement specialist? And so I'll try to do the blog, like it'll be a video blog mostly, 3-4 times a week. So some of them will be technical work, like for example, when I explain the bicep openers, I will show the exercise with my coaches, so you see how well they do it. Or some of them have, for example, Richard is going to be a little bit stuck on the bicep opener, but that'll be perfect because you'll see exactly that his range of motion is not as good as others. And so that shows you why sometimes his left shoulder is a little bit pissed. It's because the bicep is still not to the length we want. So I will use my coaches to show you all those movements, what I'm looking for in order to show the problem, fix the problem, and then gives feedback to the athletes. I will also do videos about the movement that I use, like for example, the rope pull, the overhead yoke carry. So I have many more videos to come, probably for the next 10 years, I'm guessing. And then I'll keep you in the loop, and then I'll try to post 3-4 times on my YouTube channel and on my website, okay? So this is for the choice of exercises, and I will talk to you guys